Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, today I am doing ROH 13th year anniversary pay-per-view. I've stated a couple of days ago I was going to do a review by Thursday for a wrestling company other than WWE's bullshit. And here it is. This was taking place on March 1st, 2015. I have to say one thing. Not one single match on this pay-per-view was under 3 out of 5 stars. This pay-per-view was a fantastic event. It had a lot of good wrestling and a lot of good talent in this. From what I've heard just recently, WWE is actually interested in the Briscoe brothers, Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe, which is kind of interesting because these guys have been in ROH for quite some time now. Jay Briscoe being the World Heavyweight Champion of the company at this present time, and he had a fantastic event defending the World Championship. Now, let me go ahead and get involved in the card here and give you guys the results. Just fair warning, regardless knowing the results, I highly recommend seeing this event just to check out the action and see how it was like to your opinion, see what you think of it, because bottom line, this was a fantastic event in my opinion, and it had a lot of good action in it. So here we go. First match, Matt Sydal versus Cedric Alexander. Matt Sydal, aka former Evan Bourne in WWE, wins the match against Cedric Alexander. Fantastic match, had a lot of good action, high flying moves, and it was very entertaining. There was just so much in it that, I mean, you could have made this match like near to the main event. It was just that good. Cedric Alexander, have to tell you, he's been in ROH for just a couple of months, I believe, or maybe a year or so, and he's been fantastic there. He does some really high-flying maneuvers, and he is just really a great talent. I highly recommend, outside of seeing him in this match, check him out in other matches on YouTube. You might find a lot of his matches entertaining. The match lasted for 9 minutes and 39 seconds, and it was a fun, entertaining start-up to the pay-per-view. Moving on, and this match, by the way, was a 4 out of 5 star match. Bottom line, there was no way you could grade this any lower than a 4. Next match is Moose, a former offensive lineman in the NFL, went against a guy by the name of Mark Briscoe. As I mentioned, is going to possibly move into WWE, maybe, but no guarantee yet. It's just a rumor, and they're expressing interest, WWE, at this time. WWE is expressing interest in them, excuse me, not to get anything confusing on what I just said. But anyway, Moose defeated Mark Briscoe in a singles match. Match was alright, not too bad. I'll say this much, Moose is better than Titus O'Neil. He was pretty decent in this match, didn't have too many complaints, but it was kind of a slow match. I have to say it was a 3 out of 5 star match. But good entertaining stuff, I have to say the least. Definitely needs some work, Moose, but I feel he's on the right track to being a decent entertainer and wrestler. Next match. This match stole the fucking show, I believe. But there's a couple other good matches that were on this card that just was unreal too as well. So it's kind of hard to say which match stole the show. But the next match after this was the 3-way tag team match to determine a number 1 contender for either the IWGP Tag Team Championship or the ROH Tag Team titles. Depending on what championship the team wants to choose from, since ROH and New Japan Wrestling are joined companies and share their talent with each other. So anyway, the people in this match was Matt Taven and Michael Bennett, called the Kingdom. They actually have Maria, the former diva from WWE, as their manager, and it was Carl Anderson. By himself. He did not have Doc Gallows, unfortunately, because Doc Gallows was unfortunately not able to make the show, so he just planned on doing it by himself. So it's kind of like a handicap match, 3-way. Kind of weird, but it still was a really good match. Also in this match as well was Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, that now go by the name of The Addiction. If you guys haven't known that at all yet. Um, Great match, good action. It was like, truthfully, the action was kind of like, imagine this. It's a good example of a boxer hitting a speed bag. I mean, boom, 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 boom. They were just non-stop through the match, beating each other down, throwing each other out the ring, doing high-flying moves. It felt like they were actually having a musical beat go on with each impact that they did in the match. It was unbelievable how good and entertaining this stuff was. I mean, there was just nothing you could say that was bad about this match. This match overall, in my opinion, has to be at least a 4 or 4.5. This was really good stuff, and it had a decent ending, but overall, it was a good match. I have to say the least. It was not bad whatsoever. And the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Michael Bennett won this match. And I believe they're pretty much going to decide to challenge for the ROH Championship belts. The next match that comes up is Roderick Strong and BJ Whitmer. These two guys were former faction brothers within this faction called Decade. Don't know too much about it. They're two guys that have been in the independent circuit for quite some time now, and they decided to form this team. Very interesting story, though. It's kind of strange because in reality, the way they kind of formed it is they don't really like each other, but they formed together to have a common goal into achieving what they want to do within ROH and in the independent circuit. So I thought that was really entertaining. And then they had this other guy called Adam Page, who is part of their group, and he's kind of like mutual. He's neutral. He's not really kind of being involved in the situation. He's just observing what they're doing in the ring. So it was really kind of interesting storyline that they built up for this grudge match. Not too often you see this in any wrestling company, so they were. I appreciate how they were trying to go at a different type of twist in the storyline and just make it like, straight up action, and that's what we got. And Roderick Strong won this match, and it was a very good match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. It did have its moments where it was kind of a little bit dull, but they slowed things down to to keep up the pace later on in the match, and it was decent. I can't say it was bad. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but it wasn't horrible. It was well worth a watch. So I have really no complaints on this match. After that, we had ODB, formerly known as One Dirty Bitch, is now known as Old Dirty Briscoe. Don't know why they changed the name. I guess because she's part of the Briscoe family now, or whatever, their faction, I guess. And she defeated Maria in a match to reclaim back Jay Briscoe's custom-made World Heavyweight title that he created last year. They kind of changed it, though, with a female strap, putting pink feathers and stuff all over it, which was kind of creepy. And I'll have to say, it was a really good match for a women's division match. Definitely put the Divas division to shame, to say the least. The men were involved in the match. It was all over. Really, what it was like watching an ECW females match. ECW's female wrestlers, when they got involved, they also got involved with the male wrestlers, and they had contact with each other and hitting each other and all kinds of shit. So this match was pretty good. It's a 3. It had some work that needed to be done to make it a really great match, but it wasn't bad. It was well worth sitting there and seeing the match itself unfold and come to an end. And I had really no complaints on it, and it was funny as hell at some moments, and it just really had a good and entertaining feel to it. The next match, this one, I mean, I might be biased here, because I love AJ Styles, but AJ Styles went against ACH. I don't know what the ACH stands for. They never really gave what those three letters stood for, but whatever. But this guy is phenomenal. This guy ACH. He really can do some crazy ass moves. One of the biggest moves he did in this whole match, which was really nuts. He goes ahead, he has AJ Styles outside the ring, and usually you think they would jump in between the middle rope and the top rope. No, 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 no. This guy, he goes ahead, runs up to the ropes, leaps over, does a reverse superstar press, and lands right on top of AJ Styles outside the ring. If the man would have made one false move in doing this maneuver, he would have probably broken his neck. It was outstanding, and he hit it picture perfect. There was no way in hell. I haven't seen anyone do a move like that in my life, the way he did it. I mean, it was insane. That was just, that move alone stole the match, in my opinion. That was the moment of the match, to be honest with you guys. AJ Styles, as usual, proved once again he is one of the best wrestlers in the independent circuit and in TNA, formerly at that time. And boy, oh boy, I bet you TNA really wishes they could have him back, because this guy puts on a hell of a show, and he's currently right now the IWGP Heavyweight Champion in New Japan Wrestling, and he did a great job in that match, which I didn't do a review on. But I'll do a New Japan Wrestling review sometime down the line. Whenever they decide to actually do an event. I don't know when that's going to be. Doesn't really matter. AJ Styles defeated ACH in a very good match. Clean match, too. There was no interferences. They shook hands, and that was the end of the match. Classy match, and a great ending. AJ Styles, did his thing, won the match by a Styles Clash. My scale on this would be a 4 out of 5. It did have its slow moments, but it made that 4 out of 5 on account of the fact some of the moves they did were outstanding. So I can't just say it's a 3 out of 5. So that's why I went with a 4 instead of a 3. But anyway, moving on in this card, we had the ROH World Tag Team titles. The Red Dragon with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defending the titles against the Young Bucks. I have to say this. The match was very good, but the Young Bucks got to learn to do something else. They seem like Roman Reigns, man, with the Superman punch and the spears. This team's no different. They freaking, all they do is super kicks. What are they, a bunch of copy clones of Shawn Michaels? I mean, this is crazy. It was still fun and entertaining to watch, but man, oh man, they really need to figure out some different moves to place in their matches, because all they did was super kicks non-stop through this entire match. They did a nice little tag team finisher where, they do a tombstone pile driver. One guy holds him in a tombstone pile driver position, and the other guy gets on the top rope and pushes down on his legs to slam his head into the mat. But overall, the rest of their whole style is just super kicks and, a few other good moves. But still, I mean, they kind of need I have to say, I saw about maybe 12 or 14 super kicks by the both of them combined. I mean, that's a lot of kicks by two guys. I mean, you'd think that was their finishers. But, overall, besides that, they did great in that match. The Red Dragons, they seem to be more like the John Cena tag team. They got their asses kicked, and they came back and they won and retained the tag titles. They were actually champions going in, by the way. And they did well in this. It wasn't too bad. I have to say it was a 3.5, maybe a 4, just to be nice. But it wasn't horrible. And, my only complaint about this match is just a little bit more move variety, to be honest with you guys. And that's only on Young Bucks' part. Other than that, the whole rest of the match was fun, entertaining, and a joy to watch. Then we had the ROH World Television Championship. This is with Jay Lethal, formerly known as a Black Machismo in TNA, and as well as Jay Lethal in TNA as well. So he went by both names. And he went ahead and went against formerly known Alberto Del Rio, now Alberto El Patron. Which, I don't know why they changed the last name, but whatever, it sounds a little weird. I like WWE's a little version better of his name, but who really gives a shit? He was a former WWE wrestler, went to ROH. And this match, you know, I have to say it was a much better match that Alberto had in ROH than he's ever had in WWE. I don't know what maybe WWE restricted him on doing certain things, but in this match he was better than he was in WWE. He did unfortunately lose to Jay Lethal. There was a little bit of a screw job in the match because of his manager. Martini is the name that the manager's name is. So. And he's part of a group called House of Truth, if you guys don't know the faction that he's part of. If you guys don't really follow ROH too much. But yeah, Jay Lethal won this match. Good ending, though. I mean, he did a RKO type of thing, which was pretty cool. Like the move, the finisher is pretty damn good. And he defeated Alberto El Patron. It was a decent match, have to say, probably a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't too bad, not too shabby. Need a little bit more work to be, you know, up there, but again, still a decent match. The next match and the final match was the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. This was a fatal 4-way match. Jay Briscoe being the champion against Hassan Hansen, Michael Elgin, and Tommaso Ciampa. This match, I have to say it wasn't too bad. Do I wish it could have been a little bit better? Yes. I have to say that much. I do wish the match was a bit better than what they had. The ending was a little cheap. This match was kind of a little bit of a disappointment because it kind of was like how the Fatal 4-Way from 2007's Backlash pay-per-view from WWE was, where like Shawn Michaels kicked John Cena in the face. John Cena fell on top of Edge in that match and won the match 1-2-3. The same thing, very similar in this one. Hansen hit Jay Briscoe in the face, knocked him down on top of, I believe it was Ciampa, and pinned him by luck 1-2-3. And that's how he won the match. Action-wise, it was pretty good. Not bad at all. Well worth the time that you put in watching this match. A lot of good spots. Hard hitting. They hit the railings a bunch of times in this match. It was back and forth action. You really couldn't tell who was going to win. But the ending, it wasn't towards my liking. Honest with you guys, again, another 3.5 out of 5. If it wasn't for that ending, I would place it as a 4. But it definitely did not, they didn't do the right ending in my opinion. I think they were trying to copycat WWE in a sense. But still not a bad match, good show, and my overall grade for this pay-per-view is a B+. Bottom line. This was not a bad pay-per-view whatsoever. I only wish WWE could put on a show like this like they used to. This stuff reminded me of old WWE back when they knew what the fuck they were doing. And I really appreciate the action that these guys did. And most of the matches, I'd have to say, were over 10 minutes, most of them. Probably the only ones that were short was the women's match, which was 5 minutes and 20 seconds from what I see here on my cell phone. Another match between Moose and Briscoe is 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And the opener was like 9 minutes and 39 seconds. But that was pretty close to 10 minutes or over, so I can't say anything bad about that. But overall, the show was excellent. There wasn't nothing bad about it that I could complain about, except for that ending to the main event. And not to mention, I almost forgot, Samoa Joe comes out just before the main event, announces that he wants a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty decent promo, sounded like his old self from back in the day when TNA was actually good instead of garbage, like they are now. And he definitely seems like his character's been redefined. Like he's back to his old self. He's not like this lame-o character that he's been since before he left. And then he came out at the end of the match when Jay Briscoe retained the championship, and they had a stare down, shook hands, and it was pretty good, nice ending, and I liked it. It was a really good show. Anyway, I highly recommend to you guys. I would definitely go to watchwrestling.ch. Check that out on there. You guys will be really entertained by this this pay-per-view, so definitely I would recommend that to you guys. Anyway, at this time, I'm checking out. Hit that subscribe button, and it was a pleasure talking with you guys, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.